So, Lucas, what's your favourite quote from the Hulk?
I mean, is it just like Hulk smash?
That is the best quote, but is it your favourite? Is it just Hulk smash?
I mean, I do, obviously, like, most of my lean-ins with the Hulk are, like, MCU lean-in-wise, like, seeing him there, and I do like just the puny god.
Oh, puny god's so good. You know what? Let's talk about the Hulk some more. The Hulk is a Marvel character defined by his tumultuous and often violent relationship with his alter ego, Bruce Banner. And whilst the Hulk would have you believe that he is, as he often boasts, the strongest that there is, it seems, according to Marvel canon, Bruce Banner calls far more of the shots than you'd expect, given his status as puny human. So far away, Lucas, first of all, thank you for joining me on this episode of Fact Fiend. We brought it back specifically so that I can promote the work of myself and my friends. So we're talking about a Marvel character here. We used to run a series on Fact Fiend called Wiki Weekends, where the most popular episodes were us specifically talking about Marvel characters. We have now carried on that series on its own channel, Wiki Weekends, who'd have thunk it, where we've talked about many more Marvel characters, and we might talk about more in the future, yes?
Yeah, and I think the actual, like, solidification of the formula was one of the earliest episodes that we did where we talked about the Hulk.
Yep, the Incredible Hulk, the Jade Giant himself, because I'm a huge fan of the Incredible Hulk as a character. I love just, one, the fact he's just a big green dude who punches things, but also just the Hulk as metaphor. And various incarnations of the Hulk have read the character as a metaphor for different things. Normally it's a metaphor for child abuse, which is a pretty heavy topic considering, like, you know, the dumb stuff the Hulk does in the comic books and the movies and the cartoons and the TV shows.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Here I am, getting older all the time,
getting older all the time, getting younger in my mind.
Oh!
And when I first heard that explanation for the Hulk's origins, just something clicked in my mind and went, that makes perfect sense. Of like, this giant rampaging green monster that screams, I want to be left alone. That's awesome, but okay, what's the origins for that? Oh, it's the manifestations of the fear of an abused child, of just wanting to be left alone.
It's okay. It's just the rain.
And even the fact that his strength is directly correlated to how angry he is. And that Ang Lee Hulk film is rightfully shit on for not being very good. But a part of it that I do like is the fact that just the Hulk's rage is nigh infinite. And do you remember, like, the way that film ends? Because I think it might be one of the best Hulk moments.
I vaguely remember. That's the one to do with a lake, right? I can't really remember much.
So what happens in the ending of the Ang Lee Hulk film is his dad becomes Absorbing Man, who could absorb an infinite amount of energy because his dad wants power. And what Absorbing Man does is he takes the Hulk to a lake and he absorbs all of the energy in the lake and it freezes.
Strange. We're reading a phenomenal drop in temperatures there.
And he goes into, like, Bruce Banner's mind and says, it's okay, Bruce. Just go to sleep. I'll take the Hulk's power. And the Hulk wakes up and it's like, okay, you want my power? Take it all. And he just screams. And he screams so loud and he's so angry, he boils an entire lake.
Think you can live with it? Take it! Take it all!
And a line that you can't really hear in the mix because there's just, like, Hulk screams is Absorbing Man saying, it's not stopping.
Take it back! It's not stopping!
Because the Hulk's anger is infinite. Because this is the anger of a child that was abused by that character. And there's no end to the amount of rage that that character feels. And I just think that's such a cool and cathartic moment, especially for a character like the Hulk. It's like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, rightfully so. And that movie is not good, but the only thing that I think it should be given credit for is the depiction of the Hulk's powers.
Yes, and the fact that he gets bigger. I like that he gets bigger when he gets angrier.
And we've pointed out before how fast he is in that movie.
Yeah, I love that he just hauls the most ass. Like when he's running across the desert and he's out running like fighter jets and stuff. Because yeah, if you've got super strong muscles, you've got super strong legs, that means you can run super fast.
He's got all of them thighs, Karl.
He has indeed, yes. And just the fact I love as well how green he is.
I don't like how green he is.
No, I like that he's just so green. He's so unnaturally bright green. I kind of love that.
I prefer that level of green to the level of green in the MCU where it's like almost like desaturated to a point of grey in some scenes. Like it's not, but it's close to.
He should be greener. That's me. I just love how unnaturally green he is because he just stands out so much in the environment, especially with his ridiculous purple shorts. Which have you seen in like that Ang Lee Hulk movie? They explain that. There's like the shot of Edward Norton buying like sweatpants, and he's like stretchy, and he's like yes, very stretchy. And he's like very stretchy, yes. He buys like the super stretchy purple pants.
You don't just like it in the MCU where he keeps just like Mark Ruffalo just keeps getting naked.
That's you know what that's cool too.
You'd think at some point he'd just have, like, in case of emergency boxes on.
I think, like, they mentioned that in, like, the She-Hulk show where it's like, spandex is your friend. Mm-hmm. When he's teaching about the Hulk transformation, it's like, you know what's your best friend? Spandex. Anything that'll stretch.
Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex.
And it's funny, because, like, as much as I dislike Smart Hulk, because, like, it gets rid of the kind of power struggle between the two. I do like the use of the fact that Jen in She-Hulk does have like the control because then they can worry about her being a lawyer and shit instead of that.
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of annoying that we got Smart Hulk. I don't like Smart Hulk as a concept. I especially don't like it in the MCU. I hate the fact that when Smart Hulk came into existence, the Hulk as a character died. Because the Hulk isn't just a giant hulking monster. That's something the character explains multiple times throughout the movie. Like, there's this deleted scene from Infinity War, I think, where Bruce Banner, because Joe throughout the film, he's trying to get the Hulk to come out, and the Hulk's like, no.
He's like, stop just using me as a weapon.
Yes, like there's a deleted scene where the Hulk has an argument with Bruce Banner when he's inside the Hulkbuster armor, and like Bruce Banner's like, please come out. He's like, no, you only want me to come out when you want my help. You're not my friend.
Better only want Hulk for fighting.
So what? You like to fight.
Better hate Hulk.
I don't hate you. You're more of an Avenger than I am. I love you.
No, you don't.
Which goes on, it carries on from the bit in Thor Ragnarok where the Hulk just wants Thor to be his friend. It's like, no, you only like Banner. You only want me to smash things. Like, no, I'm your friend, Hulk. And the sad part is, Thor's lying. He doesn't think the Hulk is his friend. Which means the Hulk has no friends, which is super fucking sad, right?
This is what friends do. They support each other.
You're Banner's friend.
I'm not Banner's friend. I prefer you.
Banner's friend.
I don't even like Banner. I'm into numbers and science and stuff.
Dog go. Hulk's dead.
Yeah, that's the problem is I could imagine a side of things where the Thor does actually get along with Hulk because, like, that would make sense of those two powerhouses getting on as friends, but yeah, he is just lying to him to get what he wants out of him.
Yeah, which is really sad when you think about it, right? Like, Thor is basically taking advantage of a child, because they talk about the Hulk having basically the level of intelligence of a child, and that's why he acts in such a childish way. He throws tantrums, he screams, he asks to be left alone. Like, he gets mad when people aren't his friend or when he doesn't get his own way. He pouts. And when you if you watch Thor Ragnarok, it's basically just Thor, like, luring a child to do his business for him.
Yeah, just a big, strong child.
Fred, stay!
No!
Stay!
Stop breaking everything!
And then the Hulk dies because he gets fused with Banner. And the fact they deleted that scene of Bruce and the Hulk coming to an understanding that they both just want to live, which would have helped, like, make that scene where just Banner's like, oh yeah, I'm Smart Hulk now.
Everything interesting about my character is gone.
Yeah, I'm no longer, like, I'm not the Jekyll and Hyde allegory anymore. I'm just a guy who's big and green and made of CGI. It really sucks, and that scene would have been great because it would have shown the Hulk exploding from the Hulkbuster. And we would have got, like, the Hulk exploding out of the Hulkbuster to whoop some ass in Wakanda, but instead we just got bad CGI.
I mean, I do kind of love how bad that floating head is inside that Hulkbuster.
It's almost like that wasn't meant to be in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And bring it back to the comics, the Hulk is widely considered to be the single strongest character in Marvel canon in terms of raw physical might. And even though there are technically characters who are stronger in terms of like their ability to affect things on sometimes like, a universal or multiversal scale, there is nothing in Marvel canon that can punch harder than the Incredible Hulk. And like the character, the Beyonder, I think, in one comic, tried to measure how strong he is. Like, oh, you've got infinite strength. It's just infinite.
Yeah, the only solution that they could figure out of how to stop eventual Hulk problems is just send him onto an abandoned planet.
Yeah, they just send him into space, which I think is like a super bullshit comic arc. I hate that comic arc where the Illuminati all team up and say, okay, the Hulk's pretty dangerous. It's like, really, Iron Man? You sat there in your war crime suit, you think the Hulk's dangerous? Have you ever tried talking to the Hulk? So, So, yeah, but sometimes he goes mad on a rampage. It's like, again, Tony, you're in your war crime suit. You really want to play this game? And then Professor X is like, yeah, he's pretty dangerous. It's like, really, Professor X? What about your X-Men? Didn't Jean Grey like nearly kill the universe last week? Should we send her to a space station? Like, fly her into the middle of fucking space? And they just send the Hulk onto a different planet. And I think when he comes back, he's completely justified in being mad.
Yeah, he is. And, like, let's bear in mind, Professor X could probably, murder everyone across the entire planet if he used Cerebro correctly.
That's the justification they have in the comics is the Hulk's too dangerous. He presents too great a threat to just the people of Earth. And it's like this is said by Iron Man, who walks around in a nuclear powered suit. And you mentioned like the Hulk and Thor should be friends. There's like one of the animated shows where they just have the Hulk and Thor just have this bromance. And they're just really good friends because they're like, just the dumb guys who like hang out at Stark Tower. It's like, okay, we've got a problem. Do you need the Hulk's help? This really calls for a more deft hand Hulk. Just stay here with Thor and watch TV. And it's like, yeah, let's throw watermelons off Stark Tower and see what happens. It's like, yes.
What are you doing? What popcorn? Friend Hulk, we do not need to rely on Stark's toys. Energy you need. Energy you shall have!
That's the thing, is, like, they're both super strong. They could just, like, be little himbo bros.
Basically, yeah, that's what, like, Thor is in, like, a lot of interpretations, including, like, the Chris Hemsworth one. I kind of like that, where, like, Chris Hemsworth was allowed to start, like, improvising and just, then he went a bit far in, like, Thor, was it Love and Thunder?
Yeah, I love those goats for those, like, 18 times they used them.
That's it, he was fine in Thor Ragnarok. And then in Thor, like, Love and Thunder, it's like, you can't have Christian Bale carrying the movie on his shoulders, like, showing, like, some Hulk levels of strength by carrying an entire movie on his shoulders, crying that his kid is dead, and then just Thor comes in and starts being a fucking dipshit with his screaming goats.
It's like Gore the God Butcher was in a different fucking movie.
To the point where he has different lighting in all of his scenes. Because all his scenes are in black and white. Anyway.
Hey, don't touch my things.
Anyway, getting back to the comics, there are very few characters who can physically stand up to the Hulk, and feats of strength attributed to the Hulk include, like, squatting, like, 100 billion ton mountain, I think, holding together the tectonic plates of a planet, and bending the Silver Surfboard's supposedly indestructible surfboard and beating a monster with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Hulk is pretty much always just the measuring stick for strength of, like, every time they want to show that a character's super strong, it's like, well, they beat up Hulk in a fight.
Or they hurt the Hulk. Normally, a few characters don't beat up the Hulk, they'll hit him and get him angry, and it's like he feels it. The thing is, in addition to squaring off against literal gods, the Hulk often faces just, regular dudes. Like, there's one comic, and I'm going to send you the panel right now, Lucas, and I want you to just describe what the Hulk is doing. Like, keep in mind that he can beat up, like, Galactus and the Silver Surfer and stuff. Like, what's the Hulk doing in that panel?
Is he just backhanding a deer?
Yeah, that's not a super deer. That's not a deer with, like, Wolverine blood. That's just a regular deer. And the Hulk backhands it, and it doesn't, like, go soaring into low orbit. So what's going on? Like, how can the Hulk, squat 100 billion tons and then backhand a deer without it just exploding? Do you like when Homelander hits things? Why is that not happening?
Yeah, I mean, I presume it's similar to, like, Spider-Man pulling his punches.
Oh, kind of, because for a lot of years, the explanation was just don't think too much about it.
Of course.
Do you know that official comic reasoning? It was like, how strong is the Hulk? Because in one comic, I think there's one comic where like a regular boa constrictor chokes him out. And then the next one is like fighting tanks. It's like, how strong is the Hulk? And the answer from Stan Lee was as strong as the writer needs him to be in that issue.
Exactly.
But an explanation did come in.
I mean, like, the usual thing is maybe you should have left it alone and not over-explain it, but I'm curious.
So I like the explanation when it comes to the Hulk, because the Hulk is two characters technically. It's the Hulk and it's Bruce Banner. So, in one issue, I have it here, Incredible Hulk Volume 2, 110, there's a character called Amadeus Cho, and they do an analysis of all of the Hulk's battles, and they find out that, contrary to his reputation as, like, a walking earthquake, not many people actually die in one-on-one confrontations with him, and the collateral damage is less than you'd expect. And he comes to the conclusion that Bruce Banner acts as a sort of limiter on the Hulk's strength, that basically forces him to pull his punches so that the people that he fights don't immediately turn into pink smears.
Which you would imagine, yeah, that's what would actually happen if Hulk was using his full strength.
Exactly, and supporting this theory is the fact that every single time Bruce Banner has ever been severed from the Hulk's rampages often border on, cataclysmic, like when he comes back from Sakaar and he's real pissed and he's so angry that Bruce Banner's basically been suppressed in his mind because he's been the Hulk for like 10 years. He comes back and he's so mad and so pissed and fueled by adrenaline in that moment, a single step threatens to destroy the entire world, leading to the name Worldbreaker. And I love that name. It's like, that's a pretty badass moniker for the Hulk, but what does it mean? It means he takes one step and the force put into that single step is so great, it risks destroying the entire world.
This ends right now. I'm gonna kill you myself!
I get why, maybe they sent him into space, but maybe don't piss him off in the first
That's the
place.
thing, right? And all they needed to do is just be his friend. All he wanted was a friend.
Hulk may not be light on his feet, but he's a huge help when you need a
Super Hulk friend!
And then there's a great animated one-shot that deals with this, where Loki wants to beat up Thor. And he's like, well, how do I beat up Thor? He's too strong. Like, I might be the trickster god, but look at them arms. The fuck do I do? And he thinks, I know. There's that Earthling he hangs around with who's the strongest that there is. How about I sever the connection between Banner and the Hulk, and I jump in and control the Hulk instead? And he uses, the Hulk as basically a mech suit and beats up Thor with it.
And so begins the end.
The Hulk realizes that Banner's not there to control him. So he frees himself from Loki's control and basically turns into a wild rampaging beast. And the ending of it is them realizing, as puny as they think Banner is, this Earthling, this human, how can they control this beast any more than me, Loki of Asgard, could? It's because he has one of the strongest minds in existence. Keep in mind, the Hulk is beating up Thor and destroying Asgard. Bruce Banner is basically fighting that shit in his head all day, every day.
You called him weak, Loki. But there is more strength and courage in that man than you will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting that inside of his head mentally every single day.
Yeah, and that's just why, I can't understand why, the whole Smart Hulk thing would be a good decision, because then you just get rid of any of that intrigue.
And as you mentioned earlier, it gets rid of so many avenues for cool storytelling, exploring the dichotomy between what is essentially a scared child lashing out and the seasoned man of science who doesn't want to, give in to his emotions.
And I am curious, because what we've seen of Bruce in, the end credit sequence and stuff, it's been Bruce. And I don't know whether it's just fuck it, we need to save some CGI money.
Probably
or
saving the CGI budget, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so, but it does make me question, what is the Hulk like when he transforms back into the Hulk now?
Yeah, and I think I would have liked to keep the Hulk in the films. I'd also liked us to maintain the kind of Hulk we had in the Edward Norton movies. Do you know, we have the angry Hulk, because those movies aren't great, but I think the Hulk in them really gives off the feeling of this wild rampaging monster.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they have the bit at the end where like Abomination turns up and they ask Bruce, like he says, "Drop me out of this like helicopter." So you really think you control that thing? It's like, well, no, but I can aim it. I can aim it at a big monster and hope that he decides that Abomination's the threat.
I mean, maybe another top tier Bruce Banner moment is in Thor Ragnarok though, when he just jumps out the airship to get angry. It's like, well, you know, the Hulk's not going to let me die if I jump out of this ship right now.
He will let me hit the ground though, because you know what? He's going to let me take the hit, but he's not going to let me die. And the reason I love that Edward Norton movie as well is because it's the only time we've seen the thunderclap in live action, I think. Whereas, like, Abomination lights the street on fire and we just get the Hulk smash and get the thunderclap.
To be fair, you also get it in the fight scene at, like, the university or whatever. You do get the thunderclap there as well.
I love it. I love that fight scene as well, where they don't actually know what they can do to kill the Hulk. It's like, they just shoot him and it doesn't work. It's like, well, okay, use the weird sound cannon. Okay, that's kind of working a little bit. Oh no, it's just hurting him and making him angrier, and he just powers through it. It's like, no!
That's the thing, he just improvises, like, the shields and runs through them anyway.
So I said, I love that he fights like a wild animal. I love that, like, you know, you see him like just ripping things apart with his bare hands. Like, that's that raw animalistic strength. It's really funny in like the Ang Lee movie because Ang Lee did a lot of the motion capture himself. Do you know this?
Oh, really?
It's a big deal. He's very serious about getting the performances. He apparently has a lot of acting experience, and he gets completely into character.
Where's the bit where Ang Lee, like, jumped into space and brought down a meteor with him?
The thing is, though, we've never gotten that right.
I don't think so in any film, no.
So that scene like Marvel vs. Capcom, right, where just Hulk goes like that express ride at like fucking meteorite where he leaps into space and it's like just the meteorite comes down, which I think is such a hype thing for him to do.
It's so fucking cool.
When he just leaps all the way into space, it's like, oh, thank God the Hulk's gone. No, meteorite and ass. It's coming. What do you do when you've got meteorites in ass, Lucas? Nothing!
The scariest thing is the fact that it all happens in all of, like, 1 second.
It's 1 second, right? It's, like, literally just 1/4 of a second and the Hulk's already got that meteorite. Smash you! And I think one of my favourite videos on the internet is, like, a first to 10 in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Where it's like a guy who plays Hulk versus a guy who plays Magneto. I think it's Kane Blueriver, I think, who plays like the Hulk team. And he plays like all the big bodies. There's a line in it that always fucking slays me. 'Cause you know Hager's super move? Where he does like the 400 punches.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he does that to Magneto, but Magneto's blocking, and Magneto's block animation is just holding up his hands. So it looks like Magneto just taking like 4,000 kidney punches.
Get in there! Take it to the sink! Yeah, tenderize those ribs a little bit. Damn, that man got some strong nuts, though. For him to stay there to block that with no flinch.
And he just cracks me up because it's just like the phrase "tenderize those ribs" is what the commentator says, and I stole that unapologetically and use it every time I play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance on a Friday, which will be the day that this video is released. Hopefully, I'll be less sweaty than I am now. Because it is a heat wave in the UK, I'm sweaty as balls. But if you're watching this video within 2-3 hours of it being released, I will be playing Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance on stream right now. You can go click the links you can find below or the pinned comment. But if you're tuning in after the 2 or 3 hours after the video's gone live, you can instead find a link to Lucas's stuff, which will be...
Hell yeah, we're going to be just linking those Wiki Weekends, of course.
Absolutely, yes, Wiki Weekends.
And, you know... I guess just like go over to Wiki Weekends, obviously watch some videos, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But if you drop a nice little comment on like the most recent video that has just come out, then I just think if we get enough of those comments, then we could do a cover video on the Red Hulk.
Yes, because I think Red Hulk's going to be like that Thunderbolts movie, right? So if you're watching this video, click the links to go find Wiki Weekends below. The first video you see that you find interesting, just leave a comment talking about or asking us to talk about the Red Hulk. If we see enough of those, that'll be a good indication of how many people are coming through from Fact Fiends, so we can gauge how effective a advertising vector this is. And also let us know if that people are tuning in and want to see us talk about the Red Hulk, because I'd love to do a Wiki Weekends episode on Red Hulk, put more clips in of the Hulk.